and welcome to this week's edition of Twin Peaks Unwrapped. I'm your host, Brian Kozowski, and beside me is Ben Durant. And today is episode... What
12.
episode is it?
It's 12!
Oh my god, we're not at 14 just yet. We're almost there. A couple weeks away.
Yeah.
To the big reveal that I still do not know who the killer is. But this episode, I will just let you know that this episode kind of tells me who the killer is, who I might think the killer is. And we, at the very end of this episode, I will tell everybody who I think the killer is, but Ben will not hear it.
I might take my headsets off. I probably won't leave the room, but maybe I'll turn away from
I'm going to whisper it, like really low.
Or you're going to say, Judy.
Yeah, Judy, yeah. Judy with the
you don't
hammer
even know what Judy
in the
is.
kitchen.
Brian has no idea what I'm talking. It's
Judy.
a future reference that you don't know about,
Oh.
but
I was thinking
it's a
of
whisper.
Clue.
Yeah.
It was the butler with a hammer in the kitchen.
That's right. If you say it, you have to say, how did it happen? No, all right. So yeah, we are on episode 12. This is written by Barry Pullman, directed by Grammy Clifford, aired October 27th, 1990, and the rating is a 7.2, and it placed 75th.
7.2?
Yeah, 75th of the week for shows.
Oh my god!
So I
is
feel
this like the lowest of the low?
I don't know.
Does it get lower than that?
I might.
Because
I don't know.
nowadays, I feel like if you see a show that low, it's already canceled.
Right.
Or it gets canceled.
Yeah.
They're very lucky to go. I feel like they're very lucky to actually have a complete season 2.
Right. Totally. And I think I think Joel was saying that by the time we find out who killed Laura Palmer, almost nobody's watching. I mean, I'm watching, and I know we have our diehard fans, but
do you think the Twin Peaks? Well, you live through it. So all summer long, everybody's talking about Twin Peaks, and then at this point, was the chatter stopped? But was nobody really talking about it anymore?
I mean, yeah, I think that. Yeah, I'm trying. It's hard to say. I mean, without the internet, I'm trying to remember. I definitely feel like it was dying down. I mean, there was definitely some people I would talk to about it, and we have discussions about it. But I definitely felt like, yeah, there was a lot of people who were kind of done with it. I mean, it really happened in the first episode of the second season with we having this waiter or the person who's helping
the
Cooper.
Concierge. Yeah.
He's like, I've heard about you, and it's like for them it feels like 10 minutes, long minutes, and we're not getting the answers to who killed Laura Palmer. And so I don't know. It's crazy. I do kind of think that ABC has some blame. They put it on Saturdays. I mean, it was on Thursdays,
which is a great night.
It was a great night. The next day, you could talk about it at work, and there was a lot of discussions. And then to move it to Saturdays, which is never a good, I think, day for.
So they didn't have faith in it at all. To have it on a Saturday, there's no faith there. I don't think.
I mean, yeah, there's always this thinking. Sometimes people would say, well, the thinking is. You don't have to have great numbers on Saturday. You could have, you could be. I don't know if you can be this bad, but you can be in a place where you don't have to be number one of the week.
Maybe they realize that. Maybe they're like, well, we put it on Saturday. It can do what it does, and we're fine with it. Yeah, it's not taking away their main. Because Thursday night is like the main night, and maybe they felt it wasn't up to Cheers' standards.
Yes,
Frasier, it wasn't up to Frasier's standards.
Well, it was Cheers. They were up against Cheers. Yeah. So, we should begin here. We are. I think. Do you have your notes?
I do. This is another one. I'm highly disappointed in myself. I do not have Log Lady in this episode because I watched it on Netflix.
I really think we need to find a way where we can do all the Log Ladies. And part, I watch them every once in a while, and I think it'd be great if you and I could talk about it after the whole Laura Palmer mystery is discovered, because sometimes she does talk about things, and I don't feel like I could talk to you about them yet because.
Well, yeah, I totally agree, because the next episode, I get back into my Log Lady. I'm not going to jump ahead of myself, but I'm going to just briefly. In the next episode, Ben, we got things are being touched. I don't know what's going on.
I did hear a beep sound.
Okay, we're still recording. I did notice that next episode, I got back into the Log Lady, and yeah, she does talk about things that are mysterious about that episode, and I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot. So I was highly disappointed I did not get a chance to view the log lady of episode 12.
So we have to find a way someday, before we end this series or something that we're doing this podcast, finding a way to talk about it again.
Just do the log lady stuff.
I don't know if we do a whole show on the log lady, or if when we're done with this series, when we do when we have other discussions about Twin Peaks, if we bring it up then, or we'll have to talk about it. Maybe you guys can always write in and tell us what you think would be a great way to bring up the log lady.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Intros, yeah.
And I mean, she already squashed our whole theory about her husband.
That's still her theory, but I don't know. I keep going back and I look at things. So the theory is that the husband, the dead husband, is in the log, the spirit of the log and stuff. And
I like that theory.
Yeah, I like it. Catherine Coulson, really, who played the log lady, felt that it's just a log. It was just a personal item that she got as a gift from her husband, and she clings on to it because it was part of her husband in some ways.
Yeah,
I like that in some ways, but just the way that Twin Peaks is so mysterious and odd, and I don't know if it's in scripts or if she actually does say it, but she does call it, and she always does talk to it, and she says the log has something to say. I mean, I don't know.
Is the log, like the log lady, the log to her is someone to talk to, and I feel almost like Cooper's Diane. And we feel like Cooper's not crazy because he's saying Diane to her tape recorder.
Yes.
But we feel the log lady's crazy because she's talking on a log. But honestly,
so if she had a tape recorder, she'd be all right.
Yeah. I feel like we're really like they're doing the same thing.
Right. And in a way, they both could be a comfort. Yep. I mean, for Cooper, it's a comfort to be able to express himself when there's nobody else around to talk to about, the Kennedys, what really happened between the Kennedys and Marilyn Monroe and stuff. Yeah. And he can express that because he can feel comfortable because he's got a tape recorder.
And for anybody who watched season 2 of True Detective, Colin Farrell talks to his tape recorder to talk to his son.
Yes.
But he couldn't talk to his son in real life for some reason.
Isn't that something?
But he talks to the tape recorder because he feels comfortable and he can express himself.
Yeah.
That's sort of like that.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Because you're not talking to someone, you're talking to nothing, but at the same time, you can be more open.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about being judged. And then I think if he were to say those things to his child might not say anything back. And then Cooper's talking to Diane, but Diane doesn't exist, maybe. And the log lady's talking to the log, but they're not. The tape recorder and log are not going to judge them.
Right.
So they can be open.
It's true.
Right?
Maybe they should just buy a cat or something like that.
Like a normal person.
So this episode 12 starts with Cooper in his room, and he actually does talk to Diane. Do we? Since we brought up Diane, why don't we have some here?
Diane, 6:42 a.m. Rough sleep. I dreamt I was eating a large, tasteless gumdrop. I awoke to realize I was aggressively munching on one of my air pillow silicone earplugs. Hence the tastelessness. Perhaps I should keep a closer eye on my after-dinner coffee consumption. Persistent soreness in the rib area, which I am treating each morning with 15 extra minutes of yogic discipline. After which, thankfully, the pain retreats to a cul-de-sac in a distant suburb of my conscious mind. I'm going to begin today with a headstand. Diane, I am now upside down. Mind becoming porous. The day's tasks coming into focus. Objects growing clearer.
So, yeah, you know what? That, I mean, kind of reinstates almost what we're thinking. It is like a diary.
Yeah,
it's a diary entry, because some of the things he's saying, why would she care?
Right.
That you're upside down. I don't care you're upside down.
Right.
In
the script, so the unseen Twin Peaks, he talks about that he doesn't want to use his gravity boots, which he did use in the first episode, not the pilot, but the first episode. You remember he's hanging upside down. So why doesn't he do that? Why doesn't he use his boots? And he says he was concerned about further rib separation if he used his boots up like that. But he felt safer by using doing a headstand or whatever.
And I like that they go back to the classic Cooper's hair is slicked back and it's sticking out.
I don't know why I always thought it reminded me of Woody Woodpecker, or it was just kind of like
it's like a kind very cartoonish. Yeah, I love it.
Very cool.
It's very comical.
And so he finds the note from
finally.
Audrey. Yes.
Cooper finds Audrey's letter under the bed, finally. And I was like, it feels like a lifetime.
Yeah, it does seem a long time. I mean, because I'm trying to remember where she left it. She probably left it in episode 6, and this is episode. So it's been like 6 episodes since she probably left it.
So has it technically been like 5 days, maybe?
Yeah, it's been less than a week. It's been less than a week. And I think she's been missing for a few days. At least that they were aware that she's been gone. And
yeah, last we heard where she was missing for a couple of days now. Well, originally they weren't concerned because she disappears, but now they're like,
right. And her dad was always like, she disappears all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a kid. That's what they do, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not a good dad. I'm not a good dad at all. I don't know.
So Hawk sees Truman and gives him an update, and still there. Yeah, we kind of learned this already in the last episode that there was when Leland's Leland's grandparents' summer home, whatever. There was no Bob, and there's still no reference to a Bob or Robertson.
Yeah. Which is interesting. So yeah, the whole Bob thing is going like. Yeah, so is it a ghost? Is it a premonition? Is it a poltergeist? Is it something only they're seeing?
Yeah.
Kind of like, why would Leland say that if it wasn't true?
I still love your thing about how it seems like only the Palmer family sees Bob so far.
Yeah.
Well, except for Cooper. I guess that's not true. But other than that, it was Sarah, Leland, and Maddy, I think. And I think we would be led to believe Laura as well.
Yep.
So,
yeah. So I mean, maybe in like we said before, why would he recognize a guy with scraggly hair that looked old when he was a kid? They would not look like that.
Right.
They would look younger. So the fact that this guy might have never aged in their eyes makes me feel like.
And I just threw it out there. It could be his son or something.
Yeah. It's a whole family of crazies.
Well, son with long hair.
Yeah.
His
white
son, hair.
They all look. It's like a Simpsons family. They all look the same.
Right.
Like,
oh man.
So I don't know if I want to jump ahead. I know not much is going on, but I like the cameo in this episode. Mr. Pinkle is Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley.
Ah, yes.
Which
right.
he's selling a chair to
Bobby and Shelley.
For Leo because they're going to take Leo in so they can roll in the money while taking care of Shelley's ex-husband who's in a coma, which is the creepiest idea.
Yes, it's
and
really
for
not
free
smart.
money. And for free money doesn't seem very. It seems I wouldn't do that.
I don't know
Who
if
would
it's worth
do that?
it. I don't think it's worth it.
No, why don't you guys just move out and leave him in the hospital or a home or have a?
I think this is Bobby's thoughts. So I mean, Bobby. This is Bobby's plan, and I don't know if he always has the best plans.
No, he does not. And I love the Squiggy, and it's very comical trying to sell the chair, and it's like, it starts going up and down. It's like malfunctioning.
Oh man, it is offensive. He does have this scene where he's like, you gotta hit it like a woman or something. It's like,
I know.
And
but he's supposed to be sleazy.
And Shelley doesn't react too much, but Shelley was beat by her husband too. So
with soap in a sock.
And it's like,
but maybe if he had said you have to hit it like a woman with a soap in a sock, she would have flinched. But because he didn't,
it's horrible.
I know. But yeah, you're right. I mean.
And I'm sure that the writers knew that was horrible, and that he is kind of a slimy guy.
Yeah, he acts like a slimy guy. So I feel like him saying it, that's to make him slimy. He's a slimy dude trying to sell this really.
I do wonder, and it does come off as though, like he says at one point that they got to take their profit from the money, and then whatever was left was this machine, and it kind of comes off like he's conning them. And
yes, because later we'll find out. They ain't going to make that much money.
Right.
They will not make that much money.
You totally spoiled it. I know everybody who's listening has basically stopped listening to this because, you've spoiled it.
You spoiled the Leo subplot for us. Squiggy. And it's funny because this episode I rewatched, but when I was watching it, I was falling asleep while typing these notes. I was really late, and I'm like, I wrote Mr. Pinky is Squiggy from, and I'm like, what did I write?
Mr.
But now
Pinkle,
now I figured it out. So other than this, my next notes. Oh, this is it. Donna sees Mr. Smith and offers her life. Oh, offers her life to read Laura's diary. Donna sees. Oh,
Yes.
Donna sees. She goes back and she sees what's his name?
Yes, Harold Smith.
Harold Smith,
Right.
and offers her life.
If you give me your life, no.
Yeah, what was that about?
No, she's right. He likes stories. He's all about stories. So she said, "I'll tell you about my life."
Her life story.
Yes,
yeah.
I like. It's kind of fun to fill in the blank. It's like, what's missing from this sentence?
I know, because I was really
No,
tired.
you're awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, her life story to read Laura's diary, and then he freaks out and he's trying to leave the house, and like he sees the sun.
Look, we're not quite there yet. Let's get.
Oh yeah, we're not there yet.
Well, I mean, I want to get back to it, but I also want to go.
Okay,
somewhat
we're going in order. I know. I'm skipping.
No, that's
over
cool.
some
I
stuff.
mean, I think that's really interesting stuff, and I want to go back to it. So I think the
Okay.
next scene that we would be at is they're at the roadhouse, but that's where the court is. I mean, they've
Oh
kind of
yes, and that's what made me. The court looks so weird.
It does weird because they're on the stage where Julie Cruz would be singing and stuff.
Yes.
So they're on the roadhouse. So it's kind of funny. So there is some like unseen Twin Peaks from the script.
Okay.
Where I think it's interesting. Judge Sternwood talks about Twin Peaks and how he went for a walk and he was near the waterfall and he saw a buck, and I think it's kind of interesting that you get a little more sense of who he is. And then Ben Horne enters, and Stern mentions how good the food is, and he taught at the Great Northern, and he spent many years living and eating there. And then Ben says that Sternwood actually helped build the Great Northern with his father, Ben's father, and stuff like that.
So they have the history.
It gives a little history to it. I mean, it's not important to this episode, but it's still kind of interesting. You remember how we were we were talking on the last episode how Lucy was hugging him, and there's definitely a very close relationship. It seems like he doesn't permanently live here, but he seems like he's had a long history with the community. And,
Yeah.
and I thought that was fascinating.
Do you think they cut that out because that would make the viewers think, well, why would they pick a judge that's so close to his family? He's not.
Maybe.
He's not like.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is that everybody's close to each other in
I
some
know,
ways.
but
so
what's the word I'm looking for? He's not. What's the word I'm looking for? People are.
I know what you're saying. I can't think of it now.
Partial.
Yeah, partial.
Yeah,
But Ben's not on trial right now, so
I understand, but to have the judge, and if his dad
right. Well, look at the Leland. Leland
Yeah.
is actually on trial right now. He is being accused of killing Jacques Renault. And he's and the judge is kind of. You can see that he has a relationship with Leland, and that he's kind of soft on him. So I mean, I think that goes out the window. The rules don't exactly apply to this community. They want to be. They really do care about it. It takes a village to raise
a criminal. It takes a village to raise a criminal.
And there's one more part I want to talk about in this unseen Twin Peaks so when Ben mentions that Sternwood actually helped build the Great Northern, Cooper mentions the craftsmanship of the wood door near his room and how there was no nails that he saw, and Sternwood remembers that door and says, "Beautiful piece of work." And I think it's kind of interesting, and you always see it. I love this cool Cooper and Sternwood relationship because I think I've said this in the last episode. I almost feel like Sternwood is like an older Cooper, or maybe he's a mentor to Cooper. It's like there's something they're very similar where they observe the nature around them. He's observing Sternwood in the script is observing the buck, and he's observing the waterfall, and he just enjoys it all. And I feel like that's Cooper in some ways. Cooper is really
now. Did they know each other?
No, that's what I mean. So they only just met, but they seem perfect. I mean, they're very very similar people. They observe how Harry has woman trouble and things like that. I don't know.
They're very observant. Yeah.
So I mean, that's all. And so now in this scene, we've got I think Leland is basically going to be set free. I mean, for now until trial.
Yeah, which is interesting that they would keep. Well, I think it's because they
He's
know
got a good
who
reputation.
He is.
Yeah, he's got a reputation.
He's not going to run.
Right. And right.
And I love the gigantic poles that are in the middle of the room. And there's people sitting behind the poles.
You see the bar? Do you see the bar? Ben is at the bar. So we're in the roadhouse just hanging out here.
I guess when you're a small town.
At daytime, it's a courthouse. At night, it's
night court.
It's a night court.
It's a night court. And for a town that has a population of 51,000.
I never lived that down. I cannot stand that. There's no way there's 51,000 people that live there.
I looked at it, but 51. It should be 1,000.
Right. Because that was true. You probably have like several thousands of people probably hanging out here now at the court. But
and it's like not even maybe 20 tops.
Yeah, 20 at tops.
Yeah, and I just love how everybody's behind the pole. Like nobody, like you can't see anything. There's a pole in front of you.
Right.
We'll put the chairs right there. But yeah, it's pretty interesting, and I like the set. I like how they did this. Do you think it's something they did on purpose, or is it just because we're gonna play it off like it's a small town, so we're gonna do something?
I think it's
like
both.
this?
I mean, I think it's convenient. I mean, you have your sets they've already built.
Yeah.
And they don't want to build a whole nother set, so why not have it there? But I also do like that it feels like a small town. That like because you don't have court cases every day.
That's true.
I don't know if it's like once a month. I mean, he comes in whenever they need to, and I mean they've got the Leo trial thing they're talking about, and they've got.
But for a town that has a lot of bad things happening in it, you think they would have to have a courthouse because, I mean, Hank.
Right,
I mean,
we've got Hank,
he went
Leo,
to jail,
right,
and Leo, and I mean everybody else is doing devious things,
right?
Yeah,
I don't know, but maybe we only witness the worst of people, and like the rest of the town they don't do anything bad. So now we are at that scene where we were talking about Donna visiting Harold Smith, and she says. I think she saw the diary, and so I think she wants to get more information about it. And
she's using any means necessary. She will sell her life story to him.
Right. And she still comes here as the Meals and Wheels, so she's still bringing him food.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he's creepy.
He is creepy. You mentioned it, I think too. He's kind of like Norman Bates.
Yeah. I really feel like his mom's dead and maybe planted in a plant somewhere.
He talks like he pretends he's his mother.
Yeah.
Mother.
Mother, what should I have for dinner? But yeah, I kind of feel that. And yeah, it's interesting that he will only read it. No one's allowed to see it.
Right.
And I feel that's because there might be some evidence of maybe wrongdoing, or I don't know, maybe he's so protective of it because he feels that Laura wouldn't want anybody else to read it, and she only blessed him.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe he stole it, or maybe she gave it to him. I don't know. What
and
do you
he's
think?
also, I mean, I think he's a loner, and like, I don't know if he says it somewhere in one of the episodes that like, but I get the sense that like his friends are the books in some ways. Like his stories are how he kind of like, that's how he lives through these stories and stuff. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
I feel like that. I think for him to lose that is very precious to him. That it's something that he connects with.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have Laura with him, so he connects with Laura through her diary in some ways.
And also maybe the fact that if he were to give it up, he would never see Donna again.
Yeah.
And maybe he wants to see her again,
right.
So he's going to use
that's some
this.
leverage, right?
Yeah. Like I will use this to get you to come back.
So anyway, we can. Do you want to go to that scene now where he goes outside?
Yeah. So no, why do you think he freaks out? Is it because he's afraid of the sun, or or what? Like what made him?
Why don't we play like him going outside just for a second, and then we can discuss it.
Yeah. Should I bring it up?
Well, yeah. I'm trying to figure out how close we are, but yeah. So I mean, he's talking with Donna.
Maybe our dreams are real.
I feel like she's almost saying anything right now.
She takes the book.
Oh, yeah, here it is.
She runs. She's going towards the door.
Maybe I'll read it out here. I'm alone.
Please. We've only just started.
Why don't you come with me? Come on. What's there to be afraid of? Come on.
Please. Give that back to me.
His hand is shaking.
Harold?
And then he just collapses on the ground. Very good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like.
So there's a couple of things. I mean, like I don't think.
What are the theories about him? Anybody have theories about why he freaked out when he went outside?
Well, I mean, some people actually haven't. I don't remember what it's called, but there is a fear of going outside. There is actually people that are out there. I wish I could remember what that's called.
Yeah.
But so he does. His hand trembles, or his trembling ignites in his fingers.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't know if we've seen anything like that now, but in the future, there's other characters that happens to, and that makes me wonder is he connected to some other mystery, like the mysteries of this town and stuff like that? I do wonder, is there a supernatural thing to that? Like,
he has
in the script. So the unseen Twin Peaks, in the script, he says when he collapses, he says to Donna, "I just got too close," and yeah. So I think. And I feel like that references is that like he can't handle going outside. So I mean, it really seems like it could be a condition, and I do question whether I don't know if it's ever answered really, but I do wonder if I wonder if he's part of this other mystery surrounding the town. And maybe once we get further along, I'd love to kind of revisit it and stuff.
He's a shut-in.
Yeah.
But what? Maybe he's just freaking out to freak out, or maybe. It could be a ruse.
Well,
it could be a ruse.
We've talked about this before too. That like, what if he is just putting everybody on, and then he just if he's the killer, or if he's somebody that does bad things, he has an alibi.
Yeah, he doesn't go outside. Yeah, I don't go outside.
You know I don't go outside.
You see? I freak out.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but that could be a ruse. But yeah, I mean...
But I don't have any answers. I can tell you 25 years ago, I don't know if I really have answers and stuff, really. But
okay, I didn't know if there's like theories out there about...
There might be, and we'll have to look it up. Or I'd like to revisit it like once we get a little further down the road.
Yeah.
But.
So we're rocking the courthouse scene.
Yeah, and so now we're saying basically that it's about Leo. Is Leo capable of going to trial?
Oh,
and like the argument is that he's maybe he's brain dead or he is in a coma and that he couldn't do that.
He's in a coma with his eyes open and making noises.
They don't know that though.
I don't know how much of a coma he's
and the
in.
problem is Shelley is basically trying to say, oh no, I mean I want to take care of him, and thinking that she's gonna get money out of this and stuff. So
in real life though, if he was in a coma, they would have had him hooked up in a hospital until he woke up. They wouldn't just let him go home with someone.
This is Twin Peaks. It's like a soap opera. We don't overthink these things.
I know. I'm just saying.
I
mean, it's not like it's sort of like he's in a state of like blackout almost. Like they say coma, but we all know if he was in a coma, he would be in the hospital. So I kind of feel like he's just like in this like stuck position.
Yeah.
And he's like not. He's awake, but he's just not there. You know?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Or he's faking it.
Maybe he's faking it.
But if they got his brainwaves, that just shows you.
Right.
They would know from the brainwaves if he was faking it.
That's fair.
Because brainwaves would be going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
By stimulation. But so if he's that good meditating and he's like bringing it all down.
Right. Oh, too funny.
But
so that's the other trial, but I don't think that goes anywhere either.
No.
I mean, I think this ends the scene. Is going to get to where the judge basically says, tells Shelley that he can come home, that he can go home with her, and that we're not going to do trial and stuff. And reassure. But we should get to the scene where so we're going to get to the bar, and Cooper's going to be there, and Truman's going to be there, and they mentioned this is the time where I tell you where I think Cooper says I've been here for 12 days. So it kind of
okay.
Basically says that every episode is basically one day. So we're on episode 12 and it's been 12 days since he's gotten there.
Wow. 12 days. I mean, I guess in 12 days.
Oh, I forgot they did make that the DA did make that argument that during a conversation with the judge that Leo could be the killer, and this would be horrible for the town if we let him just go home and stuff.
Yeah.
And Cooper then says at the bar that he does not think that Leo is the killer and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it just reinforces to the audience that like Leo is not. I mean, he was always a red herring. He was always, something for us to think may possibly, but
he's done. I mean, he should still go to jail for beating his wife.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
and drugs.
And
I think he shot Waldo.
He shot Waldo. He killed a bird. So
and who else did he kill? Did he kill anybody else? He attempted to kill Shelley. Yes, and we don't know what happened to. And
he burned down the sawmill.
Right.
So I mean,
Catherine Martell. We don't know what happened to her.
All these factors, he should still be going to jail.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, but because he didn't kill Laura, they're like, whatever, you're okay.
No, it's really just because he's in a coma. I'm sure they will do a trial once he ever wakes up. Yeah.
That's gotta suck. You're in a coma, and you have to. In your coma, your eyes are open, and maybe you're seeing your wife be with another man, and then you wake up and you go to jail.
There you go.
What a life.
It's funny, we're at the bar with Truman and the judge and Cooper doesn't seem like he wants to drink anything. It's kind of, he's like looking around at his beer, and it's like,
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that, like, do you not really drink? Oh, why don't we have some audio now?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to declare Leo Johnson to be not competent to stand trial.
So that's what we already said.
And when medically possible, that he be shipped home. Harry,
I think I said it too
you
early.
want to tell the little lady yourself?
Yeah.
Thanks, Clinton.
Cooper, how long you been here?
12 days, sir.
I'm not gonna.
Wow. See, there you go. It's
Yeah,
12. So we know at this point, 12 days.
Right.
That's crazy.
So that's why we could have had 5 seasons of looking for Laura Palmer's killer, and it would have only been 5 months or so.
yeah. Seriously. Wow.
Oh yeah. He also says, I thought that was good too. I think the judge also says about the strange town and stuff, which I thought was kind of cool. But
What, this being a strange town?
yeah, or something. Yeah, look in the woods. Maybe we can bring up audio one more time.
But yeah.
It didn't really matter. All right, I think you're talking about look out for the woods and how they were strange and stuff, which I thought was kind of cool.
I feel like, do you think the judge is a bookhouse?
I never thought about that, Brian, but I bet you're right.
Because he seems to kind
Yeah.
of take care of his own.
He does.
Yeah.
I bet you're right. Well,
He's
I
gotta
never,
be.
I never thought about that, but it makes perfect sense. He does seem like a Boy Scout kind of a honor.
Yeah. He's an elder, but he didn't do the eye
he
thing.
didn't do the temple with the finger to the temple down. You're right. That would have been awesome. I wish they had thought about it. I want to go back in time and say, please write in that. Because that's all he had to do, right? He didn't even have to say, I'm a bookhouse boy. Harry could have walked away and he could have done the whole thing. Yeah.
And what if he did it and none of us noticed? I mean, maybe. Now I'm going to watch him closely.
All right. I think I would have heard about this, but it makes perfect sense.
That's true. But I feel like he is. So, I know that there's another subplot.
One more time, please.
Lie on the woods.
Lie on the woods.
The woods are wondrous here, but strange.
Well, that makes me feel like he could be a bookhouse.
Right, and it was
boy.
the Bookhouse Boys who first said that there's some darkness in the woods and stuff. That was Harry who said, there's, we have a really good community and there's a lot of great things about us, but there's also this darkness.
Yeah. So that could be an indication. And we don't really need to go much into the subplot of
Nadine as a teenager.
We talked about last episode, and I think this episode and next episode don't really give us much more than the fact that she thinks she's younger. She's a teenager that might have been different from what she grew up as, and she thinks her parents are going to come home and she wants to fool around with Ned. And he's just kind of like... Ed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Ed. Why do we call him Ned?
Well, she's Nadine, so maybe you combine Nadine and Ed to make Ned.
But, it's just awkward, and she has that super strength, which nobody can explain.
You're right.
Yeah. So I don't really think there's much to talk about.
Yeah, and in this scene real quick, she does rip off the freezer door from the refrigerator. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Nobody, even if she had.
Right. So there was an unseen Twin Peaks in the script where James goes to the Double R diner and he sees Norma, and Norma asks how Nadine is doing because she did try to kill herself, and James mentions how she tore out the freezer door off the refrigerator. But I mean, I think it's kind of a fun scene because I don't remember ever seeing James and Norma really talk to each other. I mean, he's been to the Double R diner before, but I don't remember exchange. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Something that didn't happen. It wasn't needed, but I think it could have been comical. I think it would be funny to have somebody actually say it than actually even see Nadine doing it in some ways.
Do you think that's almost like if they didn't show this scene, they would have that scene instead?
Yeah, maybe
instead of filming her do it,
Totally, you could have done that, but they chose it this way and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was another cut scene, or at least in the script, that where they're at the Double R diner, and Norma sees Mr. Tajamara. He's the person who seems to definitely be in disguise
Yes.
that somebody else is. So Mr. Tajamara, I want to call him Mr. T.
Mr. T. All right, we can do Mr.
T walks into the Double R diner and she thinks it's the food critic. But to me, that was a follow-up to when Judy from the Great Northern calls Norma and says, "Hey, did you hear about the
Yes.
food critic and stuff?"
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's a way of bringing him back into it. And there's another interesting scene where Mr. Tajamara, is sitting down and Norma tells Hank, "Oh, I think that's the food critic." And he sees Mr. Tajamara and thinks it's the guy that beat him up the episode before, which is actually Jonathan. And I think I may have said Jonathan was Josie's brother, but I believe she says it's his cousin, or to other people she says it's her assistant. But anyways, he thinks Mr. Tajamara is the guy that beat him up. So he goes and he basically throws his face into mashed potatoes and stuff like that.
This is cut out?
Yeah, this is cut out. This is not in we never saw this. And then I think Norma's really furious with him. But it's interesting. I don't know if I like the mashed potato, but I like kind of linking this character back to him getting beat up the night, because it wasn't nighttime. You know,
he would have known. Yeah, he was gonna go to bed in the oven or something.
Right.
But like, he was gonna take a nap in the like sleep in the cooler. I don't know what he was gonna do. But also, because we know it's a disguise, if you threw that person's face in mashed potatoes, that would be like the disguise might come off.
Yeah,
and it'd be like, you're really, this person.
He did realize that. He realized it was not the guy that he thought it was in the script. But
I have my theories about who that person is. But I'll get to that later. And I think that scene would have been pretty funny. That would have been really cool to see that. And
it was interesting to me to follow kind of where, because I felt that, like, why did Judy need to call from the Great Northern? Why did she need to tell Norma that? And I feel like they were trying to link all these things.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's just a B story. It's not like, I mean, I think everybody wants to know who killed Laura Palmer.
Nobody cares about that.
We don't care about Nadine. We don't care about the food critic.
Yeah.
Let's just find out, the mystery of the woods and who killed Laura Palmer.
And also, man, what was I gonna say? The person in disguise. I want to find out who that is, because I have my idea of who it could be, but the guy.
I think you already said you thought it was a woman, didn't you?
Yeah, I do. I do think it's a woman. But the guy who beat up Hank, in the Double R, that guy is actually he is definitely not related to Josie. We find out because they sleep together.
Have we gotten there yet? Are you
I'm
jumping
ahead? I'm a little ahead.
I feel like every episode is like, this is the point where Bryon has spoiled, and that is a big spoil, but this is the part of the episode where Bryon tells us something we don't know.
I'm sorry. We'll talk about that later.
I'm curious to talk. I do want to talk to you about it, though.
Yeah, he's a devious guy. Now, that's the guy who's been sneaking around, kind of listening in.
And I think he did say in the last episode, he basically said it's time to go. Like, he wanted Josie to leave, and she says she doesn't want to leave until she gets her money from Ben for the whole arson fire.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
And now the person in disguise wants the same money from Ben.
Well, I think he's giving money for the land. I mean, I know this is. I don't know why this is always such a complicated storyline. But the whole reason for burning down the mill originally, I think, is so you could get the land and you could. I don't know if you can
sell the money. I mean, sell the land to get the money, but he has to give money to Josie. Finally, Josie wants money, and he has to give her money. But at the same time, this person, Mr. T, wants to buy the land. No, right?
Yes. Right. So the whole purpose for purpose for Ben Horne was he wanted a golf country course or something like that, or he just wanted the land to be able to sell it and make lots of profit off of it. So, but he I don't think he owned the land; it was owned by the Martells. So it was always kind of like, could he find a way to get the land and stuff? And
So
I don't know why he owns it now or how.
Yeah, it's very convoluted.
It's very convoluted. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll continue on because even I'm confused. So, I wrote, writer sees Ben Horne, which we just discussed. Hopefully I'm not jumping too ahead, but I put Ben talks to kidnapper, and Cooper is ready to get Audrey back, right? Yeah, because Ben talks to the kidnapper. They want Cooper. Oh, and then Ben sees Hank after the discussion that Ben and Cooper have. Like, hey, I want you to go get my daughter back. I'm going to give you the money.
Right.
Then this is the point. Ben talks to Hank. Hank's like hiding off in one of the secret compartments that this place has. And he says, make sure that Cooper doesn't come back, but the money does.
Right.
And this is when you realize that Ben Horne he's a sleazebag. He's playing so many people right now.
I mean, he's been a sleazebag from day one. I mean, he owns the One-Eyed Jack casino.
But like his mysteries he's being more exposed. I think we're unraveling him even more. I mean, he's playing Cooper, he's playing Hank, he's playing Josie.
Right. Everybody's playing everybody, but Ben definitely has his. He's definitely trying to do everything he can to get what he wants.
Yes.
So Cooper, so he's willing to get Hank to kill him. Is what's happening. I mean, he doesn't want him to come back.
Yep. And then, why did I write this? See, I could tell Maddy gets coffee, James follows her. What does that even mean? Why did I write that down?
Even I don't know what that means. I think they do. I think she goes to get coffee, and then I think, if I'm right,
there's a reason.
James. Well, yeah, they're going to do a stakeout. She's going to do a stakeout.
A stakeout.
And because Donna and Maddy have a plan to steal the diary from Harold Smith.
And I like her little map, schematics of his apartment. Yes. It says bookcase. It doesn't say anything on the bookcase.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
There's a book in the bookcase that we have to get.
Yeah, that's like her whole map. It's not that big of a place either. Right. So if she walked in, I think she would see the bookcase.
I think she would. It's like, wonder where the book is.
In the bookcase.
So Jean has got some kind of device that he can stab people with.
Oh,
like
he's my favorite. I love him. We're
in One-Eyed Jack's, and he is stabbing strawberries and
with his like Assassin's Creed thing where he just
he'll say hello and stab you and stuff.
Yeah, he is an awesome villain. I mean, I don't know if he comes back later on, but he's such a great actor, and I think his character is really cool.
Yeah, he's cool. He feels like a real villain. Like, you mean, like
a James Bond villain.
Yeah.
You know, he's got like gadgets. Why you're in Twin Peaks. Why do you need to have gadgets? But he does, and it's kind of
he's actually in Canada, right? So maybe the Canadas are where the gadgets are. But
yeah, that's true. You always thought Canadians were nicer.
So I don't know what if we want to talk anything about. Andy is actually he's answering phones because Lucy is gone to see her sister.
Yes, which she needs to have a break of her own drama that she's creating. And
this is where he gets his test results, I believe, or he's gonna get
and he's fine, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah. A mystery solved. We see. How is it that we got the Andy sperm mystery solved before the Laura Palmer killer?
Oh, I don't know.
People were probably like, they saw this episode. Well, we figured out that Andy sperm was okay, but we don't know who killed Laura Palmer. And you do another comical thing where Andy's got Post-it notes on him.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't know how to use things anymore. He forgets.
You mentioned how he doesn't know how to use tape.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't know how to use
Post-it notes.
He doesn't want to lose them, so he puts them on himself.
Yeah, like, it's so funny that, like, everyday things he just doesn't know how to do. What's it say? Ollie go sperm? I can't read his writing.
Maybe we can have some audio because it's just so silly.
There are not just 3 men on a fishing trip. They're a whole damn town.
That's right, sir. Do you understand?
Yeah, I know what that means. It means they're not really real people. They're...
Sorry, sir. I've got another call.
Oh,
I'm gonna help
okay.
you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm a whole damn town!
Oh man,
It's
my
so
whole
silly.
damn town.
And he's so happy, and he's got post-it notes on him.
Oh, he's too
and
funny.
He's gonna go home and.
No, we were talking about Donna and Maddie's schematics or their floor plans,
Yeah.
and now we've got a more thorough floor
Yes.
plans of Cooper and Truman in their office. They're looking at One-Eyed Jacks.
So they kind of they're paralleling
Yeah.
their
The
plot lines.
the teenagers, what they're doing, and what the grown-ups
Yes,
are doing.
what
yeah.
they're doing. Yep.
And then
Exactly.
Hawk comes in, and they have to hide their plans, so he doesn't know what. Because they're acting as the Bookhouse Boys because Cooper is going into Canada, which would be out of jurisdiction.
Yes. Now Hawk is a Brookside brother.
Yeah, he's a Bookhouse Boy.
Brookside
right.
boy.
And I think he's the best of the Bookhouse.
So why would they hide this from him?
I don't know, because they're doing outside the law, and yeah.
And they feel like Hawk would turn him in.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. You know,
I know.
like it seems silly they would hide it from Hawk.
Right.
You
He's
think
a good
they?
guy.
Yeah, they would want.
But he
him.
kind of lingers outside the door, and I think he knows something's up here. Yeah.
They're not very good at hiding
No, they're
secrets.
not.
These two are like so clumsy about hiding what they're doing.
Yeah.
For all we know, they could have just left the map there when they left the room, and
Right.
Hawk could have came in and said, "Oh, I know what they're doing."
So because at first they didn't know where Audrey was, but it was because of her note that was under his
Yeah.
bed that they're able to now know she's
Yes,
at One-Eyed Jack's,
Jack's.
and we can go. And so Cooper's not going to actually deliver the money. I don't know if he is, but he
brings the money.
Oh, he does bring it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've got their plan.
They got their plan, unbeknown to Ben Horne, who thinks, well, Cooper's just going to show up with the money. Hank will take care of Cooper. I'll get my money and my daughter back, and no worries. So
Right.
you have that plot, and then Cooper's like, nope, we're gonna get the money, and we're gonna get her, and we're all coming back.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Sounds good. So, Andy is, I think Andy wants to call Lucy to basically let her know that he's a whole damn town.
I'm a whole damn town.
But he actually calls the wrong number. I mean, there's a number that says is where his sister Gwen is, but he actually calls an abortion clinic and stuff like that. So-
And then that's when he thinks that that's where what she's really doing.
Right.
Oh,
So-
yeah, and there's your
Street light.
your love.
Traffic. So there you go. So Maddie is at the Double R Diner now and picking up some coffee, and James just hanging out. It's like,
Yes.
what are you up to? And again,
Okay, that's why I wrote that. Yeah.
But again, we're doing another parallel where the kids are going to do a stakeout, and we got the grown-ups doing the stakeout.
Yep.
And we definitely have somebody else we have Hawk who's suspicious, saying something is going on, and I think James is the same way. He's like kind of like, what is going on here?
Yep,
and
you're
stuff.
right.
So-
You're right. And it's weird. Like she comes just to get a coffee, and he's like, "Don't you have it at home?" And she's like, "Well, I'm on the go." It is kind of odd just to come in to have coffee.
But
and
at
to
the
go.
same time, how many times I have coffee at home all the time, and I still go to Dunkin'
Me
Donuts.
too, me too.
So, I mean, I don't know.
People are like, "Ben, but you have coffee at home. I'm suspicious of you."
I forgot my travel mug.
Yeah, and she just leaves, and he's just like, "Well."
So I bet you this is where the scene would have been where he would have talked to Norma and said, "Hey, here's an update on Nadine and
Yeah,
stuff," because he's
yeah.
just hanging out by himself at the Double R. But
So I wrote, Donna tells odd story of her and Laura to Harold.
so
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
to
is that
distract
a
him.
skinny dipping? Did they go skinny dipping?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that right.
Donna tells the story to Laura to Harold, and it's mostly to distract him, and he's like engaged and
Yeah,
engaged.
it's a strange thing because I do think she likes him. I do think that she. I mean, you gotta
Maybe.
remember that she's a teenager and he's a grown up, and I think she enjoys his mystery and that he drinks wine and he seems like he's better than the teenage boys and stuff like that. But at the same time, she's also wants the truth about what happened to her best friend. So
Yeah.
it's a strange thing where I think the truth is more important than how she feels about Harold.
Yeah.
So now it's Truman and Cooper are all wearing all black, and they're gonna they're going into One-Eyed Jack's. They're breaking in. It's funny. Oh, well, there's an owl.
There's the owl. Yep.
The owl's watching.
Yeah, I mean, I hope to God the owl something becomes part. The owls or something.
What is Truman doing here? Is he like grabbing his balls or something? This guy, the guard,
He punches the guy in the stomach. He shoves a blue ball in his mouth and tape him, and then because he doesn't want him to scream, but then slams his head against the door, which I'm sure is very loud.
Right. Too funny. So yeah, they're breaking into one eye Jacks there, or what you say you like to call black eye.
Black eye Jacks. I always caught the wrong thing.
That's all right. But yeah, so they're.
And wait, before we get into it though, doesn't he say I'm gonna send my best man, and then he shows up and he goes, "What'd you expect?"
Yeah. That was a few episodes ago, right?
Okay,
He's at the bar and he's.
At the bar.
And you said you knew all along it was going to be.
Oh yes, I knew.
I would have said it was Hawk.
I know, but Hawk's not a main character. I figured he would be it. So they walk. This is a cool. Actually, this is really cool for Twin Peaks. I mean, I like.
They don't have a lot of action.
action.
They don't. Yeah. And we got the red curtains, like the red room again. But so they've got their map. They're using the map to figure out which room they should go to.
And
I didn't realize it was so big. You know, you don't see a lot of the rooms throughout the show, and like, I guess there is several rooms for
because
social hours.
Wow, there's more than social hour going on in there, Ben. It's for their
this
clients.
It's a PG-13, right? Isn't this a PG?
Yeah. It's for their clients, and they have multiple rooms.
Oh man.
See, ooh, ah, and giggling?
Yes.
That's not social
hour.
hour.
We have our closed captioning on here with this. So they find Audrey, and they rescue her, and she's out of it. Because, is there anything else that you want to talk about this scene? I don't know.
Well, I think they cut back to Maddy helps Donna. Oh, wait a minute. Is this the scene? No, I don't know. Because like I said, this is the one episode.
Well, I'll say that if we go back to Donna and Harold, they do kiss. Like he's showing off a flower, which I always think a flower can be some innuendos there and stuff like that.
It definitely was. I think he liked her enough, and they kiss, and I think he's like.
And Maddy breaks in now.
Yes, Maddy breaks in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought she broke in, but Donna first has to give the sign. She has her flashlight that she gives the sign.
Yeah, I know. It seems a little too much. You think Maddy would have just been watching.
You think she could even stand next to the door or something, look through the window or something.
Yeah.
But
like, doesn't Harold going, why are you holding a flashlight to my window? Like, what's Harold doing at that moment?
I forgot what he's getting. He's probably getting some wine. Oh, Cooper says, nice to meet you. This is the... Yeah. Well, so he's got Nancy. That's Blackie's sister there, and he's trying to get information.
And he puts her arm, and I think he's using her to say, hey, where's Audrey?
Right. Oh, and Audrey looks a little beat up and tied up. And I think I said to you before, I think Sherilyn Fenn was sick during some of these episodes, so I don't know if that's why she wasn't in it as much.
Okay.
I would love to. One of these days, I have to find out it's a source for that. But I thought she was actually because I feel like she's not in it that much for at least the beginning here of the second season, and I think she wasn't feeling well for a while there. But I could be wrong. So then Nancy pulls out a knife. And I have mixed feelings about how the way Cooper handles this.
Yes, is Cooper punches a woman about to stab him?
Right.
He punches her because he's going to get stabbed.
I know, but
so
it's
what
still
do you feel like you don't...
Like
okay, he grabs
her, punches her in the gut, brings her down. I do always love that all shows, like, it's like a one punch. He punches her in the stomach and she goes down and stuff like that. But
did you notice when he flung her to the wall, it was like Superman. She was like not even standing up.
Oh,
she was against the wall, higher than him.
Man,
he had superhuman strength.
Yeah. And I know you don't feel this way, but as a 15-year-old, when I was watching this, I was like, "Oh, it's Dale Cooper rescuing Audrey," and it's like a love affair kind of thing. Even though she's high school and he's a 30-year-old, but at the time,
I feel like it's like this father-daughter type. I feel like she looks at him like a father. I don't know why. I can't.
Oh yeah, most of us fans don't feel that way. A lot of us feel like they should be together.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. I see a lot of things online where it's like the best couple, but I'm like, no, it would be weird. It would not be good at all.
So now, the show is coming back, season 3. Would it be appropriate if these characters are still, if Dale Cooper or Audrey are still alive, would it be appropriate now for them to be together?
Yeah, because they're both over the age of 30.
Okay. Would you be for that, or would you think it's still father?
No,
and daughter?
I think, okay, say fast forward to now, 25 years later. So, okay, 25 years later, Dale's in his early 20s in the show, I think.
I think he's supposed to be in his 30s.
See, I read something where he said to David Lynch, don't you feel that my character would be older? Why are you asking me? Because I'm young.
Yeah.
I look young. And
I know. I think.
He said it's not about the age.
I think Kyle MacLachlan is probably younger. He might have been 25.
Yeah,
or something like that.
because he
but I
even
think Dale
thought
Cooper
he
was
was
supposed to be in
wrong.
his 30s, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so his character is supposed to be in his 30s?
I think so because when
Or
we
they
get,
keep
when
it
we-
ambiguous,
when
like
we
you
get-
don't know.
Yeah, when we get to the Dale Cooper diary, whatever we call it, I'm trying to remember the autobiography of Dale Cooper.
Uh-huh.
They will go into some history, and it definitely feel like he's in his mid 30s.
Okay.
But again, does that have to be canon? I don't know if it has to be canon, but that one seems
So-
like he's been in the FBI for over 10 years.
Okay,
or
so maybe we'll say 33, 34-ish.
Yeah.
And then Audrey is what?
18.
She's
She's legal.
She's legal. She's 18.
Yeah.
So 25 years later, that would make her 38.
Yeah, I didn't do the math. So I'll
She's
yeah.
18.
25 years
28,
late. Yeah.
38, and then add 5 should be like 43. And Dale would be like, say 33, 43, 53. Add 5 years. You'd be around like 50 something, 56, 57.
Probably, yeah. Oh,
So
man.
57, 40, that's totally fine.
All right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
But at this point, I just don't get that vibe. I see it differently. But
yeah.
I totally get it.
Right.
I get
So
what
I mean, I
people-
feel like like we talk about shippers. I mean, like Mulder and Scully. I mean, to
Yeah.
me, this was like the shippers of Twin Peaks. It was
Yeah.
Audrey and Cooper there. But
yeah.
So I mean, to me, it was like, oh, he rescued her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be in love.
Right. But we're still in One Eye Jack, and
Yep.
Jean, I think, kills Blackie. Like he uses
Yes.
It's pretty cool too, and it looks like almost like a vampire because I believe he kills her, and then he's got blood on his mouth.
I think that's almost probably because, there's blood coming out of her mouth because I think he stabs her in the gut. Yeah.
Right.
But it is creepy. And that's what I
really-
like about this.
right.
It's so creepy. And
he
he's so ruthless.
And he
too.
sees Truman spying on him, and he gets out a gun and tries to attack, and then he, But there's, Cooper's waiting for Truman's signal to say it's okay to go.
Yeah. And, I mean, I was like, how are they going to get out of this? Because this guy will
Right.
kill them.
Yep. All right, you want to bring up audio for a second?
Sure.
Maybe so it looks like the guy's got him at gunpoint.
A henchman.
Henchman, yes.
Oh. Turn around.
Which he looks familiar.
He does got a very familiar face, yeah. So it looks like the end for Cooper and Truman. And then a knife. I think is it a knife?
It's
that
a
go-
knife, yeah.
Gets him in
From
the back.
Hawk.
Good thing you guys can't keep a secret.
Hawk to the rescue.
Hawk to the rescue, yep. It's so hard to hold that back. We all knew that was
We
coming.
all knew it was coming,
you
but
know,
it's a cool scene and stuff.
Yeah, so what happened to Jacques?
Jean there, right?
Jean.
Oh, Jean Renault, right? So
Renault.
yeah, we don't know. He just disappears there.
Yeah, well, he does not want to get caught, and you can tell this guy.
Actually, he actually takes Hank at gunpoint, and
Yes.
remember Hank steals stuff, and he stole the DA's wallet.
Yeah,
stuff,
and he
so
sees it, and
yeah.
he thinks he's the DA.
Right, that's funny.
And that would make me think that he would want to kill him.
Yeah, maybe, right?
Get rid of him.
Yeah.
Like, and that would have just killed that whole plot, and you would have
Right.
been fine with it.
I don't know. So now we're back at Harold Smith's house, and
Things are about to get interesting.
Maddie is going through the bookshelf trying to find it, but it has a secret compartment, so she has to. I mean, it's hidden inside the bookshelf,
Yes.
and I think Donna's trying to distract him, and I think he's realizing something's up here, and clumsy Maddie.
Yeah, well, she didn't read schematics correctly. So she didn't know.
I don't think the schematic said there was a secret compartment.
No, it just said bookshelf.
Yes. And then Harold realizes that Maddie's there, and he is not happy. No, we can bring audio up again, I
Yeah.
guess. Why not? And he takes out a garden tool.
A little hoe.
I love that there's two doors, and they run out two sides of the door.
Yeah, for a small apartment, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Are you looking for secrets?
I am.
Is that
Answers.
what all this is about? Well, maybe I can help you. Do you know what the ultimate secret is? You want to know? Laura did.
He's got him with the garden tool there.
Yeah. Okay, this is...
The secret of knowing who killed you.
And he's now scraping his face with the garden tool.
And this is when he screams, I'm thinking it reminded me of Bob. Why do I
yeah, you know, you're not the only one that thought that. I mean, the Wrapped in Plastic people, I think when they interviewed the actor who played Harold Smith,
he does the
actor
same
Lenny
Bob
Von
scream.
Dolan, I probably
Yeah.
butchered his last name, but they mentioned how it seems very similar to Bob and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a cool observation.
Yeah, I was like, that's weird.
Yeah, so Lenny, the actor who played them, I don't think it was in the script that he was going to do anything to his face with the garden tool. And there was actually a strong argument between Lenny and the director in saying what they're going to do. Because I think at one point they were talking about attacking Donna and Maddy with the garden tool. And he was very much against that. He said, I feel like this guy is very peaceful and he would never harm anybody. So the compromise was, well, what if you did it to yourself? And he said, I can live with that. I can go with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I can feel like he probably will hurt himself because he feels bad about something. Or,
and there are many people, I know people who,
Yeah.
when they're upset, they hit themselves.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. So that makes total sense. Like, he's upset and he's going to take it out on himself. I think he's more disappointed with himself.
For trusting them. He opened. I mean, here's somebody who lives by himself. He won't go outside. He doesn't really. I don't think he trusts people. And he let Donna in, and she kind of like
Screwed him over.
Screwed her over.
Yeah, screwed him over, and now
he took my book.
Yeah. I can't go outside. They could easily run away, and he could not follow them.
Right. That's right. That's true. If we could just make it to the door.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's almost that Looney Tune feel, like when you're running in front of a boulder, but you could go left or right and escape the boulder, but you decide to run forward.
No.
The boulder's coming, and he's the boulder. They could easily run outside, and they're safe and sound.
Right.
They could be like, haha, you can't get us.
Right. But that's the cliffhanger for this episode. I mean, that's how this ends.
Yeah.
We were like, what's going to happen to Donna and Maddy?
And, but like, for some reason, I feel like, does he do this? He must do the scream in the beginning of the episode, next episode. But for some reason, I really thought he screamed at the end of that one. But yeah, it reminded me a lot of Bob, and I was like, is he some sort of like is he like a parallel to Bob? Like, what's going on there? That's
cool.
what I thought.
I mean,
so, yeah.
but you're not the only one that thought that, so I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I never connected it, but that's awesome and stuff. So yeah, that's this episode. That's episode 12.
See, I'm excited to do the next one because I'm just excited because it's fresh on my mind. It's fresh on my mind. Yeah.
All right, cool. So we are gonna. Why don't we say how people can contact us, and then we're gonna play a message 4 from the sheriff. Message. That sheriff station.
Yes. Please comments, questions, anything. And now that we're getting close to finding out who Laura Palmer is, hopefully when someone has a question that revolves around it, we can answer it because then I'll know, so we can unwrap that. It is twinpeaksunwrapped@gmail.com. And follow us on Twitter at twinpeaksunwrapped on Twitter. And then like us on Facebook. Just look us up on Facebook. And we've been really kicking butt on the old Twitter.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I love the community. I love
cool.
like when people message us or when they retweet or they have something to say,
awesome.
And it's really cool. I mean, I'm always learning new things about Twin Peaks from them. It's really cool. So yeah, keep it up, guys.
Yeah,
you're awesome.
Thank you. And I've been posting a lot on boards on Facebook, getting our show out there and getting good response. People are sharing it and stuff, and a lot of views. So that's cool. And also, rate us, and if you want to leave a comment on iTunes. Hopefully, my goal is one day, maybe by the time the new season starts, we'll have one twin or more. It doesn't have to be us. It could be any Twin Peaks podcast. Let's get a Twin Peaks podcast in the top 50 on iTunes. That'd be cool.
That's a cool goal.
I think it'd be cool. If we can have 5 versions of Lost podcasts on there, I think we can have one Twin Peaks on there. At
Makes
least,
sense to me.
So let's do that. I think that'd be really cool. That's my goal. Maybe we'll hit it. I believe in the community at large that it could happen. So we're gonna leave you with the phone call, and then afterwards, I'm gonna whisper really low into who I think the killer is, and Ben's not gonna listen.
That's right, at the very end. So
very end.
we'll get the
It's a
messages.
secret.
I will take my headphones off. I will turn. The idea. The reasoning is that like I don't want to.
Yeah.
If I have a bad poker face, I don't want to say
I
yes
know.
it is, and I want. Because so here's something special that we're gonna do. Well, we're gonna do in 2 weeks when we get to the episode.
Yeah.
That reveals who killed Laura Palmer. You and I, for the first time, are going to sit down and watch the episode together.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll write into the show. We'll start recording once the show is over, and we can discuss it. And I think it'll be different because I don't even think you need to take notes. Just take it all in.
Yeah, we're just gonna watch it.
You're just gonna watch it. So it might be a little different feel for the show because
Yeah.
it'll be fresh for you and it'll be different. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm
it's
looking forward to that.
Me too, and it's gonna be interesting because it's gonna be a very different show, like you say, and I think. Yeah, we might even have some recordings of me finding out. We might have a lot of interesting stuff in there. So I think it's going to be really cool. So, Ben, we're going to leave it with the message that Lucy
so
gets.
the sheriff's station hotline message, and this is so what they were doing was the day after the show airs on Saturday, the very next day, 5 a.m. you can call a phone number.
5 a.m. right on the
5
horn.
a.m. You can call the message and find out. Really, you were getting a recap of the show.
Yeah.
And you were paying $2 a minute for the first minute, and then $1 for additional minutes, and it never was more than 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So so that's what this is, and let's listen to it.
All right. Here
And
we
then
go.
right at the very end, Brian's gonna whisper something to you. All right.
Yeah, I am. Good with.
Twin Peaks Sheriff. Actually, I'm over here in Tacoma at my sister's helping her out because she just had a baby. So I came out here to help and to clear my own head, which, as you know, is a little clogged up at the moment. I also got the name of a clinic up here that can help you with decisions about babies and life and what a huge mess I'm in. So I'm here, which means that I won't be at the station, which means the phones are in the hands of a complete amateur.
Ow! Hello? Miss Zipman?
Andy,
Lucy?
what are you doing on this line?
I was talking to Miss Zipman about her. Where are you?
None of your business.
I've been looking all over.
Well, so what's happening in town? The caller would like to know.
Oh, hi. This is Deputy Andy.
They know who you are.
Mr. Palmer got bail. I did a drawing of his head, and it might go in the newspaper. Leo isn't going to stand trial until he's stopped being a vegetable. So I guess he's going to go home so Shelley can take care of him.
Poor Shelley.
I don't even think she likes vegetables. Lucy,
Yes?
I want you to know.
This is all very interesting, but I don't think it's why you called. Let's get to business. Donna Hayward and Harold Smith have gotten quite friendly. So friendly that, with the help of Maddy, Donna tried to steal Laura's diary. It didn't work. He caught them. And now they're both in big trouble. Ben Horne tried to play it fast and loose, setting Cooper up to get killed when he tried to rescue Audrey. Cooper had other plans, and with a little help from the Bookhouse boys, Truman and Hawk, dear Audrey is back and safe with only a few casualties sustained by the rabble at One-Eyed Jack's. Although thanks to Jean Renault, good old Blackie has bought the farm instead of the casino. How we will miss her. Oh, I believe my time is just about.
So you see, everything is going to be all right. Lucy?
Andy, are you there?
I'm here. I can hear you.
Is that you, Mrs. Zipman?
It's me.
Andy, if you're there and not saying anything like you always used to in high school when you hyperventilated and had to breathe in the bag in French class.
Lucy, I'm trying to tell you that.
I'm lucky in love. My life story. I'll be back next Sunday with more news. If my life hasn't completely fallen apart more than it already has. This is Lucy. Bye-bye.
Okay. I think the killer is